In this episode of The Blueprint, we will cover culture and behavior. Culture and behavior is the most important and difficult component in fixing social-economic problems and poor communities. These problems exist in different communities for different reasons. Whether it's for generational poverty, generational trauma, or hundreds of years of bad policy, these problems are deeply rooted in communities and neighborhoods. This component is one of two components that is not deployed by the government. It has to be applied in the community by the community. Let's break this down. The most destructive habitual tendency that gives continuity to the destruction in the community is unplanned, underage, and teenage pregnancy. When young men and women do not control their fertility, children are born without structure into poverty-stricken situations. Parents of these children are often teenagers, who were born to single parents. They are born in communities and families where there are very little resources. They are being born too fast. Before one generation is established, they are already giving birth to another generation, concentrating, multiplying, and expanding the growth of the population in the community. This issue is the foundation of all social economic problems: too many people and not enough resources. The lack of resources in the community is based on the lack of structural balance between the population and the economy. The population needs to grow proportionate to the economy. The concentration of these issues causes the population to expand out of control, while the size of the economy and the amount of its resources and opportunities largely stays the same. Once this social economic pattern is established, it overflows into every part of the infrastructure. The school system has too many students, not enough money for the system, too many people and not enough jobs in the job market. Some single parents even have multiple children, which results in a supervision problem because single parents who generally can only effectively parent one or two children then end up with 4, 5, or 6. This is especially challenging when the parent did not grow up in a particularly structured environment themselves. Children born in these situations are extremely vulnerable. They may experience homelessness, violence, sexual abuse, and poverty. The more children don't have structure, resources, stability, security, and direction, the more trouble they have establishing discipline, responsibility, and boundaries. And therefore are more susceptible to end up descending into a life of crime if there are no countermeasures. The only countermeasure to the unplanned pregnancy issue is educating young people and teenagers on sex and controlling their fertility. These conversations are some of the most difficult conversations to have. Most parents don't know where to start to have these conversations. A lot of parents don't even have a good rapport with their children or are single parents and overwhelmed and need support. A social media movement will be instrumental to creating a vast network of churches, pastors, teachers, parents, community leaders, children, and teenagers. A social agenda that is purposeful and intentional to educate kids and inform parents about the children's social lives will be transformative. Utilizing strategies like group outings to Planned Parenthood to help young men and women understand their options for birth control and controlling their fertility will be of the utmost importance. Without taking action to install birth control as a staple in the lives of young people, the movement is useless. Young girls and guys will be instrumental in making their own choices about their bodies. Non-pregnancy packs and support groups facilitated by young people will help young people support each other and stay on track. Education is the other key to family reform. The function of helping children control their fertility and holding children accountable to valuing education and pursuing higher education is a family function typically held by the parents. The final goal is for parents to assist young people to invest in their future by choosing college, trade school, or military to clearly map out a future for the child. Parents should be focused on helping children to not compromise and impair their potential by having children too soon. Parents will need to challenge themselves to develop relationships with the teachers of their children to make a concerted effort to proactively track their children's academic progress throughout the school year. With the birth rate and education issue front and center as a reformation goal, the culture and behavior agenda can be transformative if executed intentionally and properly. The impact of the proper social movements to counter destructive behavioral issues should yield results not only culturally and behaviorally but economically. When poor communities start to stabilize into normal patterns of behavior, the growth of the community will slow down to a normal birth rate. This will curb the constant expansion of the student body in the school system. School districts will be able to manage the student body, resulting in smaller class sizes, more attention per student, more money per student, and safer schools. The job market will also balance out as the population growth starts to stabilize. The decrease of job seekers in the job market will result in a decrease in unemployment. The decrease in unemployment will lead to a decrease in crime. The decrease in crime will lead to an increase in businesses opening and home buyers seeking out the neighborhood to live in. This will create more opportunities and generate more income tax and property tax revenue. By deploying these strategies, the communities can reverse the effects of social economic problems. Like and subscribe to this channel to get notifications when we drop new videos.